right, everybody, welcome to our 2020 Rochester High School Falcon Marching Band Kickoff Info Meeting. I hope you can hear them. Somebody throw up a comment and say, yes, you can hear the fight song. Yes, you can hear me talking right now. I'll wait for a second.
Lots of late comments.
All right, awesome. We're gonna proceed on. Yes, I love watching the comments as we go. Apologize for the little bit of a delay. I started the video early and then it was a little confusing, so this is all kind of new, so bear with me as we go. Just wanted to welcome you, just like we have every rehearsal, with a fight song, and we're going to proceed on here with our meeting. Welcome to all of our current 8th graders, our future Falcons, and their families. This is all going to be recorded and will be up to watch later if we have people missing. If we have some folks join in late, that's all good. So we're going to proceed on with the meeting, and I'll put myself on video in a little bit, but I want to show you a couple things first. Usually we'd have the marching band perform. Obviously we can't have that tonight, so we're going to give you a little bit of a taste of some of the things we did last year in a special video that Mr. Geyer helped put together for us to get us fired up. This is one of our Brotherhood videos, so here we go.
We are not who they remember. They may not recognize us, but we wore no disguise. Same flesh, same blood, purpose unchanged. But that purpose can change the soul. We didn't return for the spread. We aren't here for the glamour. We came looking for the brawl. They think we're struggling? We are the struggle. We are the struggle. We are not a reflection of their expectations. We enjoy the ugly. We drag them into it. The hardship intensifies our pursuit. The challenge verifies the greatness we seek. And the trial reinforces our bond. Unity, born from necessity. Yes, the Brotherhood is alive, and our ranks have grown. Because we don't feel the pain they attach to us anymore. We inflict it. Don't they see? There is no escape from the resilient. Because we live by a standard that demands it. Yeah, they may not recognize us. That just means they don't know who they're dealing with. In Brotherhood, we trust. In Brotherhood, we fight. In Brotherhood, we ride.
All right, I always love seeing Skylar and Colin dance through that part of the video there. Hope you guys enjoyed a little throwback to our Brotherhood from this year. And for our new folks, a little bit of taste of some of the things that we do. We know that you got to join us at our 8th grade parent night, so you got to see some of that live in action as well. So we're just going to get right into some of the information here. As you can see, this is kind of the list of our staff here. Myself, Mr. Urig. We will have an assistant director. Mrs. Fulmer has decided not to come back as assistant director this year, and she's going to be busy with some other things going on with her own school and her own life. So we are looking for a new assistant director, and that position is yet to be filled. Chuck Samardzian will be back as our drumline instructor. You guys can see Chuck in the picture here. Melissa Powers and Katie Durkaz will be back as our color guard instructors. They are here like they have been in the past couple of years. Michelle Latouf will be back as a marching and music instructor. She is back here and one of our great alumni, along with Katie. And we have 2 returning drum majors. Next year's senior drum major will be Nate Kurokawa here, and Owen Yu will be a junior drum major. So we'll have 1 drum major spot to fill this spring to take the place of our current senior drum major, Addison Curtin. Most of our staff for band camp is intact as well, which is exciting. Ethan and Cam will be back to work with the clarinets, Brett with our sousaphones and Barry saxes, Megan with the trumpets, Nicole with the flutes, Mr. Nuss, Josh with the low brass. So we have a new saxophone instructor coming, and then, like I said, somebody new to fill our assistant director position. And then Chuck always brings along an extra drumline instructor, so we'll have them with us back for band camp and pre-camp there. So let's proceed on forward. This is one of my favorite pictures of my time at the Michigan Marching Band. And I always like to kind of start off the meeting with a little bit of just my own personal marching band story. I started marching band in 10th grade at Troy Athens High School. At that time, a long time ago in the 90s, they didn't march freshmen in my high school, so I started in 10th grade. Marched 3 years there, was a competitive marching band, and really just fell in love with everything that there is to do with marching band. Continued on into college, obviously, and marched for 5 years in the Michigan Marching Band. This photo was taken my last year when I got to lead the line out of the tunnel, coming down the 40-yard line, which was pretty exciting for me. Another thing that I take from marching band, other than obviously it led to a career for me as a band director, this is a place where I met all of the best friends that I have in my life. My best man, and I also had a best woman, if you will, stand beside me at my wedding. We're both high school band friends. Another guy was a marching band guy from high school. Another was a collegiate friend that I marched with at Michigan. One was my sister, and then the person I married, my best friend, she and I met in the Michigan Marching Band, and obviously that worked out pretty well for us. You can see a picture of Carly and our boys there. That's Ray, the older one, on the left, and Ben on the right down there. And they're falling in love with music too, which is really cool. This is the part that I always love to say that the parents don't want me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Being a part of the band is so great because you make the best friends that you're going to have in your life. And hopefully you'll meet somebody later. Maybe you'll meet them now, but later, way later, you'll have your own kids of your own, and they'll grow up to be band kids. So that's what our band directors dream, that you'll meet somebody in that band and continue the tradition, with your own families much, much later in your lives. So we're going to proceed on there. Marching band has also taken me a lot of places. My time at Michigan took me to a Rose Bowl in California, and multiple places in Florida for bowl games, and to Chicago and Indianapolis with the basketball band. So it's always really neat for me to think about when I picked to play trumpet, and actually I played a cornet in 5th grade many years ago, that it would take me all the places that it's taken me. And this year it gets to take us to Hawaii, last year to Cleveland and to New York, and we've just been all over the place because I chose band. And that's going to be an exciting thing for you guys as you move forward. We have some really exciting things planned this year for our marching band season in the fall. So let's progress on here. We're going to look at the marching band handbook. Now, I sent out through email and put on Facebook and all the different ways that I could send things out, a kickoff packet. And I'll just kind of go through these things in order. I'm going to pull them up here on the screen so that you can see them if you don't have them printed off, or you're like watching on whatever device you would pull those up on. So let me transition here, and you can see the marching band handbook. And again, this is not something that I necessarily need to read through. But I'll just do a couple highlights here of some of the points in here, because you guys can take some time and read through this. Veteran folks, nothing has really changed here, but I think it's always a good reminder to go through all these things so you can remember some of the policies that we have in place and some of the things we want to uphold, because we have high expectations and standards for our ensemble, and if that starts with our marching band. So this first one is especially important for our incoming freshmen, the current 8th graders. Be open-minded and respectful of new ideas and experiences. You're going to do all sorts of new things that you've never done before. We're going to ask you to move around and play your instrument. Before you've been pretty stable in a chair inside, and then we're going to ask you to move all over the field, high step, march, and be in a pretty athletic situation as we go through this. I'm going to pause just for a second to put my face up here. Maybe that'll make this a little bit more personal here. I'm going to drag myself on the corner there. All right, there we go. Hopefully that works. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see me. We're just hanging out in the basement down here, giving you this live feed. So talking again about being open-minded and respectful of new ideas and experiences. There's just going to be things that you maybe haven't done before. And even for our veteran folks, there may be some things that are different, as maybe you step into a leadership position. Before you've been one of the other underclassmen and now you're an upperclassman, and we need you to be conscious and mindful of what being a leader means in this ensemble. Okay, please always trust that I have the band and your best interest at heart. Every year we want to push the marching band success to new levels. All right, so that's what we're going to do this year. We had an awesome season this year. That hopefully we get to wrap up with the Memorial Day Parade, and we're going to push to be even better next year. All right, this quote is one of my favorites here. Oops, I just scanned right past it. To be on time. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late, and to be late is to be forgotten. Obviously, we started the meeting a little late, so I'm already in trouble for that one. I can see some of you guys posting on that. But always come early to stuff so that you're ready to go when it is the actual start time. When we have our morning rehearsals at 6:20 a.m., you got to get to school before that, get your stuff, get out to the field so that we start with that fight song at 6:20 a.m. and then we're ready to go. So that's a great quote. That isn't just a band thing. It's something that I really think is good advice to live by. Whatever job and whatever place you go to in your life, to keep that in mind. Dr. William D. Ravelli, he's one of the longtime Michigan marching band directors and director of bands at U of M for a long, long time. To be prepared, this comes kind of from my Boy Scout background, as I was an Eagle Scout when I was younger. So always come with all the things you need. Some of the things you might be like, what the heck is that right now? As you read through there, your music, your flip folder, you have to have those with you all the time. Your instrument, your lyre, if that applies to your instrument, so that you can hold your music in place. A pencil, that one's in bold and caps on purpose, so you can always be writing things down. Your coordinate sheets, name tags, lanyards. This is usually the one where we have the biggest issue with, the most trouble. So we're going to try something a little bit new this year. You're going to get that lanyard at band camp, that Falcon marching band lanyard. Everyone's going to get one to keep. And then you're going to hook on that name tag. That's going to have your name tag for camp and your coordinate sheet in there, and that'll be for the season. Hopefully that'll help you keep track of a little more, rather than those little loose strings that the old coordinate sheets had. So we're going to try something new to hopefully, help you keep those intact. And every once in a while you forget one at home, you put it in your pocket, whatever, but that's an important one. Obviously all your supplies and things. When we're outside, it's important obviously to have water, sunscreen, athletic shoes, and whatever clothing if it's hot in August, or if we're marching in December and it's cold out in the snow, to be dressed appropriately. All right, maintaining all of our band facilities there. The band room, our band locker room, the practice rooms, hallways, the auditorium, uniform room, dressing rooms, the football field. We use a lot of space, and these are our home for a good chunk of about 6 months of the year, and we really want to take care of it. We really want to keep it clean and tidy, keep it neat, because we're essentially living there probably more than we are in our own homes sometimes. I know I am. At school or at my office more time than I'm at my home, other than right now I get to make up for that time while we're all on lockdown here. But we want to keep our space at the school clean, so that it's a great environment for everybody to make music in and learn. Our marching band uniforms. And what I'll do, folks, is I know that the chat is kind of a lot of goofy stuff with the kids right now. If there are questions, I'll try to sift through them. And Carly's here. She's going to help me out a little bit too. I'll pause after I go through each document to answer some questions if there's some things in the chat there. Our marching band uniforms are brand new as of this year. We got to debut them in September. And they just recently, a couple weeks ago, went to the cleaners and we just got them back and they're looking nice and sharp and clean for us to use again this coming fall. The district made a very large purchase for us to get these brand new uniforms, and they look awesome. Color guard and winds and percussion and drum majors and everybody. So we really want to take good care of them. It lists there all the parts. You get a blue and white jacket, the black pants, which are overall style pants, a hat, a plume that goes on top. Black shoes are something that you'll purchase. The black marching shoes, same with the socks, gloves, and the white spats. If you don't know what spats are, you can look at some of the pictures we have a little bit later. Michael Jackson always used to wear them on stage. They're just like a little bit of a white covering on the top part of your shoe. But those are things you'll purchase, and we'll talk about how we do those a little bit later. That's considered our winter uniform that we wear, usually starting in the middle of September once it cools off a little bit and it's more like the fall temperatures. Excuse me. The summer uniform parts, these are also things that you would purchase. You get a blue FMB hat. That's part of that uniform, a blue FMB t-shirt. It's one of those nice dry fit t-shirts and a pair of black shorts. Those are all things that you'll purchase and can use from year to year. If you get a couple extras, you can swap them out as we use them. The black socks are something that you'll get on your own. And the black shoes are the same as what you wear with the normal uniforms. So the socks and shoes are the same for both of those uniforms. And we'll wear that at our early football games and some of the early performances like the Art and Apples Festival. When we play for the OPC Senior Day, we use that summer uniform. We'll use it in the Memorial Day Parade as well, hopefully in late May this year. And it says in bold, you're required to keep all parts of your uniform clean. Another important part about the uniforms is our uniform room. We store all the uniforms at school. And Mrs. Alexander is awesome about keeping that very organized and very clean. And starting this past year, we no longer allow the students to come in that uniform room. So everything is distributed out of that room for you. You hang it back up and then they put it away for you to keep it organized and it doesn't get all messy and kids don't get things mixed up. So we have a great storage facility to keep all of our nice uniforms. Let's see what else on here. This one is important. It's not just a matter of uniform, but you're always, especially when in uniform, but you're always representing our band program. No matter where you are. Most of the kids in the high school are going to know who the band kids are. You might be wearing some spirit gear or one of your t-shirts or whatever. And if you're acting in a way that doesn't represent our program well, that reflects on everybody in the band program. So it's a big task to be conscious of that all the time, but it's something that you really need to be thinking about as a member of our organization. We are the largest group in our school. We're larger than any sports team or any other activity. The marching band is the largest group, so we represent a large dynamic. We have kids from all grades. And all sorts of different groups, theater kids, choir kids, robotics. There's kids in everything, sports. And you're representing our band all the time, especially when you're in uniform. That pertains to your language, how you're talking, how you're acting, are you screwing around? So there's a lot of stuff there that goes into being a responsible member of our band program. We hold, and I will hold you to a high standard, and you should hold yourself to that same high standard. Instrument equipment, a lot of you will have your own instruments that you can use, but some of you will need to use our school instruments, like the sousaphones and the drumline equipment, some of the color guard equipment, mellophones and baritones. A lot of those we will supply to you, and it's important that you keep them in good working order. If something happens and you need to get a repair, we can take care of that, but you got to keep things like your valves oiled, keep things clean and working and your slides oiled and things like that. So, everything is in good working order and it looks good when we're out on the field. So we want to make sure you're taking good care of that stuff. All right. We're going to skip down to the next page here. And like I said, once I get through this document, we'll answer some questions if there are any. Rehearsal procedures as we go throughout the season. And I'm just going to be very brief about this. It's just important that you're at everything. I know that's a lot to ask, but marching band is a class that you sign up for. It is a 0-hour class. That doesn't mean it always meets before school. It just means meets outside of the normal school day, that 7:30 to 2:30. We'll meet before school and we'll meet after school in the evenings, on the weekends, on Saturdays, on Sundays, on holidays. It doesn't matter. Your attendance is required at those things. and you get a grade for all of those things. If there is an absence, obviously I need to be notified. You need to call it in if it's in the morning, for some sort of reason. If you're sick or some kind of family emergency, things like that, we need you to be at everything. The kind of rehearsals that we have, we might have an indoor music rehearsal. All right, it could be in the auditorium. Usually we don't fit in the band room, but that would be in the auditorium. And then an outdoor music rehearsal, outdoor marching fundamentals. We're working on the field, or an outdoor full marching rehearsal, when we're doing marching and music all together. All right. Extra marching band rehearsals, and sectionals. We usually don't add too many, but if something is added, you'll have as much notice as possible. Like last year, we were asked to play for the mayor's special event that he had. The mayor of Rochester Hill had mayors from all over the country come in, and that was a late ad, and we had a good chunk of people that were able to go. If there's not enough time and we can't, get everybody, it's not something that'll count against you. But I try to be very, I try to communicate in a big way through multiple mediums, whether it's remind, emails, website, wherever, Facebook, so that there's no reason you should miss anything. Sometimes a section leader might call an extra sectional, especially over the summer. The trumpet section leader might say, hey, we're going to all meet at my house. We're going to go over the music, have some pizza and hang out. Those kind of things. We just ask that those leaders communicate to the kids in their section in a timely fashion, and with the parents as well, in case kids need to get rides and things like that. So there's a policy in place for that. Attendance policy, again, I talked about whenever you're going to be absent for some kind of a reason, in advance, please present that in writing, which for me is considered an email. If you say to me, I'm going to be gone because I have to go to grandma's 80th birthday, or for whatever reason, I'll say, yes, make sure that your parents please email me. So parents, I always ask that attendance things come to me through email so that I have a record of it, and can mark those as an excused absent. If you're sick, same kind of thing. Any kind of emergency thing, if it has to be later after the fact, that's fine if there's some kind of emergency situation. But please let us know in writing. Don't say, hey, I told my friend to tell Mr. Urick, because that can get lost or people forget. Please try to provide those absences in writing through an email. All right, and you can read kind of the details through that. The hazing and harassment policy basically is that I have no tolerance for that. And we rarely have to deal with something like this. But this is not a place where there's any sort of initiation where a student has to go through something to become a member. You sign up, you register, you get the stuff, you've done your dues, you paid your dues in middle school band, and now it's time to join the high school band. You're a part of the family. If anybody tells you otherwise, it's not true. And the older students know, the veteran students know that if there's anything like this, I need to hear about it. Same with the parents, and we'll put a stop to it. And if it needs to go through our administrators, that can happen that way. So there's just no tolerance for any sort of hazing or harassment within our program. The hydration policy, I like putting that there. It's just a fancy way of saying we got to make sure you get water, especially in the summer. We try to take water breaks at least every 9 minutes at camp, 90 minutes, or maybe even smaller increments depending on the temperature. Students, we always ask that you have your own water bottle, a refillable water bottle, not like a little Dasani or Ice Mountain plastic throwaway one, but you have your own water bottle. It's got your name on it. It's labeled, and you have that with you, especially in the summer months when we're at camp, at pre-camp, all the summer rehearsals, and into September as well. We need those. The parents and our chaperones will always have water jugs filled with icy cold water for you, that you just have to refill it. So you can bring your bottle filled, and when it runs out, you can fill it right back up. We'll take care of having the water for you. You just have to have your own personal water bottles. When we're at football games or performances, we have our own band water bottles that the parents will provide to you, so you don't have to carry your own around, and they're all blue and they match your uniform, so it looks really sharp. But when we're at rehearsals, you got to make sure you're drinking water. All right. My email and my phone number are on just about every one of these documents, as you can see at the bottom. So that's kind of the end of the kickoff. The marching band handbook. I know it's a little bit, a lot of text to go through. Are there any questions, parents or students, that you have? Again, I haven't been watching the feed because I've been kind of reading this. Carly's telling me there aren't any pressing matters. I can kind of pause for a second to see if there are any questions about the marching band handbook.
Theme.
What's the theme? You're going to have to wait for the theme. I got to get through all the information first. All right, so I'm not seeing any questions, and Carly will wave or throw something at me if she sees a question go by, and then we'll answer it. So
there's questions, but they're ridiculous.
well, if there are, yeah, well, you can probably hear her in the background. So they're just ridiculous questions. So if there are legit questions,
there we got one.
From Mrs. Short.
Yep.
Not about the handbook, but what happens if Corona will affect this? Well, and I'll say this, just like our superintendent has been saying, and we've been getting the same information, we can only really go off what we know right now, and right now we just don't know what later is going to look like. For me, I'm just planning to proceed ahead with what the dates that we have, and then if we need to make adjustments, we will make those adjustments. Like marching band registration is supposed to be in April. I don't know if that's going to happen at that time. The Memorial Day parade, I don't know if that's going to happen at all, but I'm not going to cancel anything or we're just going to kind of wait and see. I don't know what July and August is going to look like as far as what's going on with the Corona stuff. So we just have to wait and see. At this time, the dates are in place. We have the games. It's all kind of built around when the games are in the schedule. Band camp is the latest week we can have it at Northwood, so we'd like to keep it that week if at all possible. But if we need to make adjustments, we will make adjustments as they come up.
In the same vein, they're asking about Hawaii. I think it's the same answer, probably.
Yep, so the Hawaii stuff, we're going to get to that a little bit later. That's kind of at the end. So I'm going to hold the Hawaii questions because we have our travel agent. She's going to help us. I'm going to get her on the phone to answer some of those things. But we'll get to Hawaii questions a little bit later. Yes, Hawaii is still happening, at least for now. So, yeah, nothing's canceled yet. All right. Any other? Okay, cool. So we're going to look ahead to the next document. Whoops, that went way by too fast. Which is the schedule. And this is the most important one here. Yeah, so sorry, as I go there, I'm looking at a question. If things get paid for and things get canceled, like band camp related things, we would obviously refund as much of or all as we can. I don't imagine if camp got canceled what we wouldn't be able to refund, other than maybe the t-shirts that we purchased and things like that. But we would take care of as much as we can.
There's another question. This is short.
So if the kids have jobs, should they act as if they're in school and take days off for band? I guess I don't know if that pertains to the summer. Yeah, if you have a summer job, then as soon as the schedule, like you have the marching band schedule in your hands, which is now, they can put in for those dates off because these meetings in the summer count towards the class. So yeah, absolutely, they should take off days and evenings that we have scheduled things there. Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at the schedule here. This is updated as of yesterday. It's the same, it hasn't changed. It has our kickoff meeting in there. Has all of our payment due dates on there, and we'll talk about the payment stuff in a little bit, but just has the dates for those when registration is scheduled. Marching band registration, April 22nd, is the date where we have to have every student along with at least one parent come in where we size you for uniform parts. We're going to make some more payments. We take care of getting you some spirit wear, turning in paperwork. That's the biggest thing, turning in medical paperwork and having some signed documentation, some things. That's why you have to do that in person. So that's what that one is. If we, again, have to make a date adjustment from April 22nd, then we will do that and bump it to May or whenever it is we might need to bump that. Roommate and food preferences is an online form where we'll send out, you say what roommates you want to have at band camp and if you have any dietary restrictions or anything that we would need to know about for camp. The rehearsals in May are for our current students, 9 through 12, and our 8th graders. We've not done this before, but if we're able to have this Memorial Day parade, we're going to have a couple of rehearsals to kind of get you a little preview of marching band and have you march in the parade with us. We'll get you the summer uniform gear so that you can wear that to the parade. That happens on Monday, May 25th. It starts at Van Hoosen Middle School and goes up to the new Veterans Park. That's, I think, about 1.5 miles up Adams Road, and then there's a little ceremony there. And our plan is to have our spring band picnic after that. So we'll have like a little Memorial Day barbecue back at the school. So everyone will bring their stuff back, put their instruments away, and then we'll have a little picnic there for the families, and just have a nice little Memorial Day barbecue outside the band room there on that day, which is something that we haven't done before. So we're going to try that this year, hopefully. Final marching band payment is due June 5th. And we'll talk about, again, money and due dates and things like that in just a little bit. Instrument, summer, uniform, and music pickup would be the first 2 half days at the end of the school year. You may already have your instrument because of the parade stuff. You might already have your summer uniform parts, music, depending on when that is. So there'll be some things to pick up there, maybe some spirit wear before you take off for the summer. So those are all the dates above that line that happened during this current school year. And then you get a little time off before we start back up in late July. The first day back is Monday, July 20th, where we have all of our 11th and 12th graders come for the first day. So none of the freshmen or sophomores need to come that day. And we do a little bit of a leadership training that day. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, July 21st, 2nd, and 3rd, that's the first time we really need to have everybody there. And that's at the school, and we'll be out in the field doing music rehearsals, sectionals, and some marching fundamentals. And it goes from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., so we kind of get into the habit of getting up a little bit earlier if we've been sleeping in over the summer, and get in rehearsal mode for those 3 days. That's what we call pre-camp or home camp, because we'll do that at the school. Wednesday, the 22nd, we'll have a new student and parent meeting that evening. It'll just be in the auditorium at the school as well, just to kind of brief band camp details, because it'll be a little bit closer to the time than it is right now in March. So we'll go over those details. The big stuff in bold there and an extra large font is band camp. That's a huge one. Obviously, we go away from Monday, July 27th through Saturday, August 1st, up to Northwood University, which is in Midland. It's about a 2-hour drive. We do take buses up there, so we'll meet at the school Monday morning. Everybody gets checked in with a parent, drops off any meds. We get the buses and trailers loaded up with all our stuff, and we take buses up to Northwood. And then we spend the week there. We'll look at that schedule in just a little bit. And then on the last day, we have a special performance where all the parents are asked to come back up and pick up the students. They get to see the performance there at the practice field. And then you get mom and dad to take you out to lunch afterwards, and then drive home, and you can sleep on the way home and rest for a little while. So we'll talk a little bit more about band camp details as we get a little bit later into this presentation. Rehearsals, you can see in August we have 2 evening rehearsals per week up until school starts, because we don't have those morning rehearsals. So you'll see the 11th and 12th, and they flex each week because, actually that's wrong, because of the soccer schedule. So the 11th is rehearsal on Tuesday, then we'll do uniform fittings Wednesday the 12th, and then a Friday rehearsal. Again, that's due to the soccer tryouts, so we have to do that Friday the 14th. So after August 11th, you get a 10-day break until we come back. After August 1st, you get a 10-day break till you come back on the 11th. If families, you want to sneak in one more summer vacation before we get back into rehearsals. So there's that week, August 11th, 12th, and 14th. We have a couple things. The following week, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 18th and 19th rehearsal. You'll see the rehearsals in the evenings are for 4 hours from 5 to 9. That'll be consistent throughout the year as well. The first hour of that is generally a sectional rehearsal where the kids will meet just the drum line, just the color guard, just the trumpets, and they'll do a music rehearsal with an instructor or a section leader or a drum major or a staff member. And then 6 to 9 is generally when we're in full rehearsal. Not always, but that's usually kind of how that 4-hour schedule will go. August 22nd is a neat thing. We did this last year. We're going to play at Jimmy John's Field. That's the little minor league baseball field over on Hall Road. We play the national anthem. We'll also play out front before the game as people are coming in and entertain the crowd. And then you can stay and watch the game, have some food, or you can take off if you want to. It's just nice for us to get out and do that. A little public, our first kind of public performance there over the summer. On Tuesday, that next week, it's the start of when the teachers start to report back. So we have been traditionally playing for our Rochester High School teachers first day in the morning, and then rehearse in the evening. And then the district-wide staff welcome. All 3 high school marching bands usually perform. It's been at our school the last 2 years. Hopefully it stays that way. We would play in the morning for a little bit and then in the evening rehearse on those couple of days. And then our first football game you can see is there Friday, August 28th, which I guess is 5 months and 2 days from today. And that's at Adams. We did play at Adams last year as well. But because of their schedule, it worked out that they needed another home game and we helped them out. So they get to host again. They get to provide all the food for us. We'll go rehearse with them, do some combined things, play the national anthem with them, have a combined tune at halftime, each get to do a little bit of our stuff. And then they'll feed us after the rehearsal. So that's a really fun event to collaborate with them. And that's right before the official school year starts. And after that game, you'll see Monday, August 31st is the scheduled first day of school. We'll always play on the car loop as people are driving in and entertaining the parents that are dropping kids off and whatnot, which is usually a neat thing there.
Okay, we have a question.
All right, I'm going to pause for a question. Yes.
Are there separate drumline dates before pre-band camp?
Yeah, that's a great question. The color guard and the drum line will usually meet. Well, I should say usually. They will meet in the spring, which would be usually April and May. Obviously, with Corona stuff, I don't know if we'll be able to meet in April or May. But the drum line and color guard usually meet in the spring for some clinics. They're not necessarily tryouts. The drum line will have some maybe auditions for certain parts to see which instrument you're going to play, whether it's cymbals or quads or snare, bass or bells. And then the color guard is doing clinics just to get people used to, moving with a flag or a rifle or whatever and getting your skills worked up for that. Also during the summer as well, after school gets out, up until pre-camp, the color guard and drum line will usually meet once or twice a week. I know the guard has been meeting twice a week in the summer, and the drum line, I think, once a week. And obviously, if you have family vacations and obligations and things like that, if you have to miss one here or there, all we do is ask that you communicate that with the instructors so that we're not wondering where you are. But there are extra rehearsals. That's a good question. Thank you.
Okay, you're good.
Okay. So proceeding on, once school starts, you can see the list of September morning rehearsals. Generally, those are going to be Monday and Tuesday mornings, 6:20 to 7:20, and Friday mornings. Fridays end up looking like a half of a rehearsal, and then half of the time is a pep rally in the mall. Because each Friday we have a game, or whatever day a game might be. We'll do a pep rally with the cheer and the football team in the mall, and then everyone, as they come in, kind of gets everyone fired up for the day. It's been a great tradition we've been doing for the last few years. So you'll see those dates there. If anything changes, obviously I'll make an update there. But I just list all the September mornings all in one long line there. But it's generally Monday, Tuesday, and Friday mornings. We used to do 4. This year we started doing 3. So there's less mornings that you have to wake up. And I know that one of the concerns, especially for new folks, is like, oh my gosh, I have to get up so early. A couple things on that. You kind of get used to it. You might not like it, but you get used to it after doing it for a little while. And it's only for really about 2 months of the school year. Once we get through October, that's about it. It's about first quarter. Because second quarter, we don't have a lot of performances. We'll have maybe 1 or 2 mornings per week, maybe less. But September and October are the heavier marching band times. And once football season ends, we don't have those Friday morning pep rallies. So that ends in October. So that's why it's not all that terrible. I know it seems like initially, oh, it's so early, but you get used to it. And it's not that long, just those first couple months. Rehearsals in the evening generally are on Wednesdays. And as of right now, we're able to keep that. There aren't any soccer games scheduled, JV or freshman football games. That can change depending on the athletic schedule. But as of right now, in March 26th, we are all set to rehearse on Wednesday evenings in September and October. So those rehearsals are there 5 to 9. We have a football game on Friday, September 11th. That's a home game. And we'll have a special tailgate for our families there where everybody will eat together and have a little social activity. Art and Apples, you can see Sunday, September 13th, we play. We have an optional leadership workshop that our 10th, 11th, 12th graders can go to on the 15th. The OPC Senior Day, we play at Bloomer Park for their event in the morning. That happens during the school day. We'll bus the kids over, they play and come back, and we have rehearsal that evening. Oftentimes that ends up being open house at the school as well, and we might be performing there at Rochester High School, and we're already there for rehearsal. More rehearsals. We are going to also play at the away football game at Avondale High School this year. We don't play Stony, so we were able to add this game, and they're our neighbors. And we're going to collaborate with their band as well. I know their director, and we've been speaking about collaborating for pregame and halftime and maybe having a dinner together there as well, so that should be neat. The Drumline plays at the Brooksy Way 5K. They've been doing that every year. That's the thing that we do on Sunday the 27th. And then we're moving into October. The morning rehearsals you can see there. Again, mostly Monday, Tuesday, and Fridays. There's a little flex in that I'll talk about in a second. Homecoming game is Friday, October 2nd, where we invite our alumni back to perform with us. And then Friday, October 9th is our middle school night, where we'll have our 8th graders from Weston Ruther join us to perform there, like we had you guys do this past fall. We do have a Monday evening rehearsal on October 12th. That's the first one that's not on a Wednesday. And that's because we have our huge festival performance here on Wednesday, October 14th. So we can't rehearse Wednesday because of the festival, so we rehearse Monday. And that's a big, big rehearsal for us as we prepare for that festival. Festival usually happens at Troy High School, and we usually play towards the end of the evening around 8-ish. That's where we played last year, and Adams is there, and Troy Athens, and some of the other local bands will be performing there as well. That's our big festival, similar to what you would have just played a few weeks ago at Concert Festival, except we just play our halftime show. Other bands play their shows. You get ratings from 3 judges, and then they give out the scores at the end of the night. It's a great event. We have another football game in October, so October is busy. We have 3 weeks of games in a row with festival smashed in there. Our senior night is October 16th. Where we'll honor our seniors, football seniors as well. And then the following Sunday, the 18th, is Command Performance. This is a sort of win the band raffle. We'll ask the students to sell tickets and say, hey, you can win the band to perform for you on the 18th of October at a venue of your choosing in the district. We've played at a senior living area. We've played on people's front yards, backyards, in parks, wherever the winner wants to have us perform. We'll do a little concert. And that's what's called our Command Performance. Few more rehearsals. Our collage concert is on Wednesday, October 21st. That's where we have all of our bands, all the concert bands and concert choirs, and then marching band closes the night out. That's at our school. So it's called the collage concert because we just have a little bit of everything happen for that one. Another rehearsal, and then our middle school tour is going to happen earlier. We've been doing it in December, but since we'll be in Hawaii, that's going to be bumped up to late October. So you can see that date. That just happens during the school day. November rehearsals, there are just a few. We take some time off in November because the musical is happening, and so many of our students will be involved with the fall musical. So there are less rehearsals then. You will see something new there next. This is not a definite thing at this point, but I wanted you to have the date on your calendar at this point. We will most likely be applying to play in the Thanksgiving Day Parade in Detroit because we're not going to be performing in our normal December parades due to the Hawaii trip. So this is why there's a rehearsal scheduled for that Tuesday evening before Thanksgiving, and then we'd bust down and do that parade if we're able to. This is something we'd have to apply for and go through that application process. So this is a tentative thing at this point, but again, I wanted to have that on the schedule in case that does happen. And then you can see the Hawaii trip and the rehearsal there. Normally we'd play a holiday parade in Sarnia in Canada, and then the hometown Rochester parade, but those both fall on the weekend that will be gone on the Hawaii trip. So that's why the Thanksgiving parade and not those two parades this year. Okay, questions. Was there any questions that you saw?
No, I've not seen any yet.
All right, so Carly's watching the questions and all the nonsense that's happening.
A lot of nonsense.
That's all right.
Win the band at our house this year.
Okay. At our house?
Yep.
Oh, cool. We could have it in our backyard. That'd be great. All right, so here's the first thing with all the reminds and all the ways to keep in contact. And we'll go over this a little bit. I won't bore you with reading all these now. If you haven't signed up, you can do that multiple times tonight. It's been in all the documentation. This is for, if you're already signed up, you can test to see to make sure you are. The numbers on like where their grade are, it says RHS F&B 21. That will be for current juniors, next year seniors. If you're already signed up, you should be good to go, but you can test that out if you want. emails that you can receive from our booster email, Facebook pages that we have 2 of them, 1 private group, 1 public page, and then our band website. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Any other questions on the schedule?
I think if I don't go to Hawaii, do I still have to go to December 2nd rehearsal?
Probably not. So there was a question, if you aren't going to Hawaii, would you have to go to that December 2nd rehearsal? Probably not. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But most likely that'll be a Hawaii-specific rehearsal. So most likely not. Other questions?
You should probably turn off your Snap location because they're looking for your house.
My Snap location?
Yeah, everybody says they got your location.
Yeah, okay. You could just ask Owen because he lives 3 doors away from me. So that's fine.
We do have a question. When do you apply and find out for the Thanksgiving Day parade?
I think the application deadline was like later this spring. I'd have to check on that again. I don't remember the date offhand, but it's like later in the spring. So as soon as I know, I would let you guys know if we were going to be able to do that. So it would be spring or early summer, I would anticipate.
Okay, good.
All right, tentative marching band camp itinerary. I know, especially new folks, this is a lot of information. You can go and read through this later, obviously, but I just wanted to get through some of this stuff and get it into your hands. I'm not going to bore you with all that. There's check-in and then a daily schedule. We drive up there. We have music sectionals, music rehearsal, dinner, lunch are in there, and then rehearsal in the evening. That's all on there. Same schedule for the next 4 days. Breakfast, rehearse, lunch, music rehearsals. We really try to stay inside in the afternoon from 1 to 4. So even the color guard will rehearse in the large gym. And then drumline and wind sections are all indoors because it's the hottest part of the day. And we'll be outside in the morning and in the evening to try to stay out of the extreme heat that we may get. There's activities each night. We might have a sports night in the gym. We might have, last year we had some Olympics, a game night. We always do a skit night on Friday and give out some awards, a dance night, a karaoke night. Jenga jam is usually a cool thing that everybody likes to do. There's a little Jenga tournament. That's been a neat tradition with the band. So there's always some fun evening activities. And then the last day, we talked a little bit about this: breakfast, pack up, get dressed, and then we'll do a little mini rehearsal and then perform for your parents before they pick you up and get you all checked out. So that's kind of a brief synopsis of the schedule of camp. As we get closer, we can talk more details about that. But this is just to give you kind of an overview of what that band camp looks like at this point. As far as the rooming goes, when we're there, the kids are in like suites where there's 2 rooms and 3 kids stay on each side, and then there's a bathroom that joins the 2 rooms together, and they work out like a shower schedule or whatever in the evening or in the morning, but they really don't spend a lot of time in the rooms. It's just there to sleep, dump their stuff, and then they're out at the field practicing or eating in the cafeteria.
Tracy's here.
Tracy is here. Hi, Tracy. Is that Orange Princess?
No.
Oh.
Tracy. Our Tracy. Educational Tours.
Yeah. Oh, she's like logged on there?
She's in the chat.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So our Hawaii ladies are. Tracy, hang on. We got some stuff to get through still. Thanks for joining us. Packing list there. Again, I'm not going to read through this. This is just kind of all the stuff that you'd want to bring with you. This is going to be more important in July when you're packing and whatnot. But new folks, you may want to look through this so you know, in the early part of the summer, so you can get all the things that you might need in case you don't have some of these items. Any questions on the packing list or band camp specific questions? Any band camp specific questions?
I'm not seeing it.
All right. Oh, it says her name, Tracy, right on there. Okay. All right. Close to the end of this information. So here is the specific stuff for tonight. The kickoff sheet there again. My email, my phone at school there, which I know I'm not there, but those, if you leave voicemails, go right to my email and I can check them from home. But email is usually the quickest way, or if it's something urgent, a remind text works there. And our band website, which I'll show you guys in just a little bit if you haven't checked that out, just very simply rochesterbands.org. So we'll kind of go one bubble at a time here. We've talked about these dates for pre-camp, up here, Monday through Thursday. Monday, again, is that day for the leadership. And then Tuesday through Thursday is for everybody. Band camp dates talked about. Roommates, we just talked about that. Again, you'll be able to put in roommate requests. So if you want to talk to your friends in advance of that before that gets out, so you can put in your requests. If they match up, it's easy to put you in rooms together. Marching band registration over here is currently scheduled for the 22nd, whatever date that ends up being. We'll ask that our veteran members come first in that first hour, and then new members come, just kind of delay and come sometime between 6 and 8. This can take an hour or it can take longer, depending on if you bring your paperwork and you bring it all prepared. We will email everything out in advance, and all you have to do is print it, or a lot of the things are like fillable PDFs that you can type things in, and then you just have to put in a few signatures. But if you come with that stuff already done, and this is a lot on the parents to print that off and get that taken care of, then it makes your path through that registration a lot quicker and easier. Every year we have to have laptops set up and people are sitting there filling it out on the spot, and it really takes a long time. So if you can do as much of that in advance as possible, that's your best bet. And then one parent must be there with you, students, at that registration night, whenever that ends up being. Currently, it's scheduled for Wednesday, April 22nd.
David?
Yes.
Was the bubble sheet with the email packet?
This one I'm looking at right now, yes. Yep.
Because one of the parents printed it out, but the bubble page isn't there.
Okay. It should be in there. Again, it was in the text. It's on our website again. Because this is the document I pulled up, the kickoff packet, so it should be in there. If not, it's posted on the website as well.
Okay.
Costs. So we'll go with the uniform cost square here first. And this is mostly for our new folks. And again, it looks like a lot initially, but a lot of these things you can use from year to year. The FMB t-shirt and the FMB hat. Usually the kids only get one hat in case they lose it or if it gets really gross. They might have to get a new one, but the shirt and the hat prices are there, $22 and $12. Uniform shorts, we get black shorts. So everybody has the same summer shorts. Can last a few years or all 4 years, depending if they take care of them. Each year, students will need to get a pair of black gloves, and they're $5 a pair. We always encourage kids to get two because they do get worn out. Clarinet players will get gloves that are fingerless gloves so they can play clarinets. Drumline kids don't need gloves, and color guard kids will need different gloves that do cost a little bit more, special color guard gloves that are a little bit more, but they usually just get the one pair. The black marching band shoes, at registration we'll have a gentleman there to size the kids for those, so you get the right size that you need. Color guard shoes are a little bit different and cost a little bit more as well, usually only about $5 more. But these can usually be used for multiple years. Unless you do a whole lot of growing, you might need a new pair of shoes later. And then the spats, you can see there, we always encourage kids to get two pairs in case one breaks. There's a little elastic strap on the bottom, so you might want to have two pairs just so you have a backup. So that approximate cost there you can see is about $104 to get all that stuff there. Color guard stuff, again, if you get in touch with Katie and Melissa, they can kind of fill you in on the things you'll need. I can briefly touch on it. You'll get a practice color guard flagpole and a practice silk. Again, they're not super pricey. I think they're about $10 each. And then a color guard jacket that the color guard kids will wear in the stands at football games or any of the cold weather things, because their uniforms are a little less warm than the marching band uniforms. It says for like new uniform parts, or if seniors that are out there, if you want to donate uniform parts, get in touch with Mrs. Young. And actually, Mrs. Fiscione, Elizabeth Fiscione, is going to take this position over. I didn't have her name in time to put it on here, but we can get that information out, or Kathy can just kind of pass information on. We do have some gently used things if somebody were to need that.
Dave, is uniform cost due at registration or June 5th?
That's a good question. So the uniform cost, well, I'll talk about the due dates in just a second. It's kind of in my next category here. So we're going to kind of slide over. If you look at the arrow here, that cost goes over. The band camp fee ends up this year being $420. It's just a little bit up from last year, just due to Northwood costs. That pays for food and lodging, instructors, T-shirts, chaperone, and all the stuff there for camp, and anything we need at camp, all the ice and the snacks and the things that we do. Supplies and medical supplies and all that kind of stuff. That's what that $420 is built into. The camp cost, the 104 is the approximate uniform cost for those things.
Is the uniform cost for all students or just new students?
The uniform cost, the approximate cost is that cost is closer to what it's going to be for new students. But if you're a returning student and you need something that you lost or it doesn't fit anymore, you can see what the pricing is for that. And at registration, what we'll do is you'll get a pricing sheet, and we'll check off all the things you need, and then you'll get a total. That's not all due at registration, but you'll see like the total that's on there. So we'll talk about like when that's due in just a second. Uniform maintenance fee that takes care of our dry cleaning at the end of the year. That's $15 person, and then the booster family membership is just one membership per family. If you have 2 students in the program, it's just a $15 per family. So that gives you a total approximate cost. Again, this is just approximate. It's going to be different for every person. The one thing that will be the same is that camp cost, the $420, and the uniform fee and the RPMS. That's Rochester Parents and Music Students. That cost is the same. The uniform part is where it's going to flux a little bit for everybody. I want to say this. We have these costs listed here, and it says non-refundable things. These are all guidelines to try to help kind of break down the cost over the course of the next 3 months. But where we're at right now, with the state of the country, I know that things are probably a little bit more challenging for a lot of us. So I don't ever want the money of marching band to be an issue for anybody. That should never be the reason you can't do marching band. There's always a way to make this work. If we need to extend payment times, we can do that. If you need some financial assistance, you can see there's a thing down here. We have a form for that. You just got to let me know, and I'll have you fill out the form. There's always a way to make it work. So I know that looks like a lot, but please don't let that be the reason that you aren't going to participate in marching band. We can always make it work. There's always something that we can do. So the way we set up the cost breakdown is we say first deposit is due Friday, April 3rd. We will send out an online registration. You'll fill out a Google form just with contact info, and then you can make that first payment. If you're not able to, if you want to make a smaller payment, you can do that, or just put a note in there saying, hey, I can't take care of this right now. We'll take care of it later. Also, if students have money in their student account, you can use that student account money. You just have to let our treasurer know, and her contact information is coming up in just a second. That's Sandy Snyder. The next payment we have listed there is the $150. That's at registration. That would be on April 22nd. That's just to try to keep you on track. That would put you at $250. You're always welcome to pay more if you're able and you want to. If you want to take care of it all at once, you can do that. And then the remaining balance would just be due towards the end of the school year. We have a date set for June 5th. Again, these might need to be adjusted depending on when we get back to school, if we get back to school. But the ultimate goal is that every kid gets to camp. We try to make sure everybody's paid up by the time we're going off to band camp to go to Northwood University. These are just dates set up to try to make it easier on our treasurer and make it easier on making everything collected. So if there's any sort of accommodations anybody needs, we will take care of that. Again, you can see the financial assistance thing if somebody needs. Please just let me know. We can always make it work.
So the summer uniform is the same as last year?
Summer uniform is the same as last year. Same hat, same shirt. Same shorts, shoes, socks, yes.
And if students want to donate their uniform parts, who should they contact?
Well, the email on here says Mrs. Young. It's really Mrs. Fiscioni, Angelina's mom, but her email's not on here. You can, when we get back to school, just bring that stuff in, give it to me, we'll put it into place. Or if you contact Mrs. Young, she can pass the information on to Mrs. Fiscioni. So either way, we'll get it. If seniors have some extra stuff, we can collect it, bring it into the band room. We'll put it in our uniform room.
Okay. And then will Tracy be answering questions on here, or will she be going live?
Tracy, maybe the goal is to call her. Like, I can have her FaceTime with me, and then she can answer some questions. So that's the goal for when we get there.
Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah, sorry, Damien, about your Woodstock shirt having your name spelled wrong. We'll get it right this year. All right, just saw that random comment. Color Guard instructor information is there for our Color Guard students, cell phones and emails, and our drumline instructor, Chuck. Their contact information. Their parents, it's great for you to have that if you have a Color Guard or drumline student to keep in contact with them. They often have extra rehearsals that are outside of the full band rehearsal. So it's great if you're able to communicate with them. Then contacts over here. There's some important contact information. Kathy Young is our go-to band camp coordinator and volunteer coordinator. And we'll talk more about Kathy and her duties and things that she does later. Registration coordinator this year is Jenny Jones. And Dawn Peterson will be helping her out. But her son is graduating this year, so they're kind of tag teaming that, and Jenny's taking over. You'll be getting some information from her tomorrow through me about the initial online registration from Jenny. Our booster president is Melissa Hardy. We'll talk more about Melissa later. Her cell and email are there. And then our treasurer, our money lady, that's Sandy Snyder. Her cell and email are there. She takes care of student accounts as well. And she's awesome at working all the magic with the budget and the money. So their information is down there. Summer uniform pickup, we talked about that already. And then our booster website and band website are there as well. We'll get to those in just a few minutes.
You're good.
We're good so far. They want the theme. Well, I'm going. All right. Communication. This is a big one here. So the text messages, we've shown this a few times here. We've sent this out. Please, you can sign up now. Current 11th, 10th, 9th, and 8th graders sign up for this text message group by sending that message to 81010. You can do it now while you're sitting there. Parents and students should sign up for this. I know it gets a little annoying because I send out a lot of messages, but I want you to have the information so that there's no reason you could miss a thing or forget a thing. Band websites are here. Our RHS band website, rochesterbands.org, looks like this. And again, there are all sorts of tabs on the side here for every band. There's a calendar. That's the crucial thing. This homepage has the reminds. It has all the stuff that's coming up, band camp. At the bottom has any PDFs or things that you might want to see, like this kickoff packet is there. The Hawaii trip information is there as well. I'll take you to the marching band page. Again, it has more of the same information, rehearsal dates, all the things that are coming up here, and attachments at the bottom. And then the calendar. This one is the most important. Here you can link. This is just a Google Calendar set up through one of my Google accounts here. And you can link it to your own if you have like a Google Calendar on your phone or use that. If you click this little plus button in the bottom, you can link the band calendar to your own calendar, and you don't have to add all those things in. And this has as many dates as I know all the way through next school year, through May and June. I think we even have graduation date for next year. So that stuff should all be on there. This is one that you should use, and I can update it right on my phone. So that's an important link there.
Question here.
That calendar link. Question, yes.
If someone has 2 kids in band, should they be on both reminds?
Yes. I know that will be slightly annoying if you have 2 kids in band to be on both reminds. Occasionally, I will send out things just per specific grades, especially if you have a senior. The seniors will get some specific things, or maybe a freshman. But yeah, and I do apologize that you'll get some double text, but they'll always come at the same time. So, you should be on both if you have kids in 2 different grades. It's a good question. We also have this. I'll just touch on this real quick. Photos and videos. This is a whole just like page of Google Photos. Judd Plapp sets up these Google pages that anybody can dump photos into, and there's a lot of parents who do this. This has videos and photos from everything from the last 2 years on here, from every marching band event, our own concerts and things on there, and then Mr. Latouf does some professional videos of our concerts that you can find here at the top in the middle there. So just wanted to point out a couple things on our website.
Back to the calendar.
Calendar.
Question: when you click on more details, it takes you to your own personal Google Calendar, but doesn't give more details. So there's having a hard time checking times for working out days for a job.
Okay, I'm not sure actually how to answer that question. I don't know if I click more details, what happens? A blank page. I mean, it has, when I click it, maybe it's, I don't know if that's mine. It has the dates and times up there. If you just put your mouse over it, at least what I'm looking at, maybe it's different on a phone. It has the times there. All the times are on the schedule as well. Did you see who that question was from?
Mrs. Short.
Oh, Angela. So I can probably look at this, maybe email me. We can talk about this a little bit later. So I'm not sure exactly what you're asking about that. But everything's on that calendar all the times from the other document in the kickoff packet as well. Other website questions?
There was a fundraiser question.
All right. Yeah. Then we have the booster website here. That's linked from there. And we'll talk a little bit about this later as well. There's all kinds of booster information here. You can kind of scroll through. The most important one to know about right now is if you go here to registration and Bandcamp and click on kickoff meeting and initial registration. You're already at the kickoff meeting now here. Then you go over here. This will take you to the online registration. Don't do this now just because you'll be distracted, but it's just a Google form that takes you through contact information, shirt sizes and things like that. And then you can start making that first payment here. It's $103 if you pay it online because of a 3% upcharge for the credit card use and the PayPal use. That's just something that they charge us for. If you want to not pay with a credit card online, we'll talk about mailing checks and things when we send out the email. They'll just get mailed to the school and I'll pick them up later if you'd like to do it that way. Okay, but this is the online payment way. If you want to pay a different amount than the 100, you can pay any amount and just click down here where it says pay now. I want to pay a different amount. Just add that 3% fee. So let's say you want to pay the full 420, pay the 420, add the 3% fee, and then you're good to go. You can just do it at once. Or if you want to pay less, either way, that can work. So this is kind of the key booster thing that we need to know about right now. We'll do fundraising in a little bit.
That was just fundraising.
Okay, cool. So there's the websites. Facebook pages, if you haven't already, in request. I know kids, a lot of you don't use Facebook, but parents do. So if you want to request to join our group, 2020 RHS Falcon Marching Band, you have to type it exactly like that, and we can add you there. I'll put a lot of information there as well, just as another medium to share information. And then our public page, Rochester High School Bands, you can like. That's more of a promotional page where we share awesome things that are happening. Do a lot of live feeds from there during marching band season. So parents, if you want to like that, it'll pop up and notify you when we're going to do a live post.
Are you able to publish calendars so that people can subscribe from their own calendars?
Yes, the calendar you should be able to. You should be able to subscribe. I think I was kind of saying that. I don't know, maybe if you're asking me something different, maybe email me. But if you click this bottom plus sign here at the bottom of our calendar, it should add. Then I have about 6 different calendars per band. You can add whichever band you want, marching band, concert band, whatever. But that should be the way you can add it to your own calendar. All right, email updates. I will send email updates here and through Synergy once we get everybody on a roster. And then my voicemail is here. Also, if you'd like to get email updates from our booster group, that's rpmswebmaster@gmail.com. Just send an email to that email address, and our webmaster is Laura Mag. She will get you signed up to be on that email blast and get information that way. So that's our email communication there. That takes us to the end of the packet. Whew, and it's already 8:11. Oh boy, okay. I know we want to get to the show theme. So we're going to get back to the PowerPoint. All right, that's the longest part of the stuff here. Next thing is all this stuff, which we already just covered. So we can kind of skip through this. Just gives you a nice shot of Adam Grove there playing his trombone. He's got the block R in his flip folder. And you get a nice shot of our new uniform there. Oh, I got to move myself out of the way. Shoot. Let's do this. I'm just going to make myself disappear. And we're back to Adam. All right, and there's all the communication stuff. Again, you can see that all there. We just covered all that, so we can skip right on through that. Some parent things. Just so you can put some faces with names since we can't see her right now. There's Kathy Young. She is our band camp and volunteer coordinator. Her contact information is there. This is her older son, John, who graduated last year. Her husband, Ed. And then Max is her son, who's a current student now, playing the quads there. You can see them. So this is the Young family. Kathy coordinates a lot of stuff related to marching band, as we talked about here. Next page, this is our booster president, Melissa Hardy, her husband, Paul, her already graduated daughter, Kat, played trumpet, and then her current student, Mac, She plays in the drum line. You can see her at the top there. Our booster organization is a 501(c) parent-run group. Raises money for the bands, organizes social activities, does everything they can to support our band program. All of them, not just marching band. So this is why we ask that our parents participate in our booster organization. We have meetings every other month that you can attend and find out what's going on and contribute your talents or join a committee or help us out in any way. Our next 2 meetings are scheduled for April 14th and May 12th. I imagine that they may be like virtual meetings. We could probably do a Zoom meeting or something like that since there's less people than we have right now. So we may set that up. So look for information about that. And those when our next 2 meetings are scheduled. And Melissa's information is at the bottom down there. Road to band camp. These are things we really talked about already. This is the point in our meeting where we would usually let the students go talk to each other and talk to the drum majors, and then the parents stay for this. So a lot of this we already covered. Kickoff meeting we're in now. Initial registration is coming up tomorrow, and it's already kind of on that booster website and payment. Registration forms will be sent out. Usually we send them out after spring break that you can fill out and get ready to make that second payment. And then registration scheduled for the 22nd. And then roommate and food preferences are sent out after registration. So that kind of is things we've already gone over. There's Tarek, our current senior tuba player. He's graduating, showing us an alternate uniform there. It's the same one you saw earlier, but we take the white front off and you can see the black underneath. So it gives us a little bit of versatility with the uniform. This is stuff we talked about. Marching band is the busiest the first 6 weeks of school. The Wednesday evening rehearsals, Monday, Tuesday, Friday morning rehearsals. Marching band teaches students discipline, time management, organizational skills that are great life skills to have and take with you. Makes you prioritize study time. We talked about attendance. We often get questions about sports. Can we do sports too? Yes, we have kids that play on the soccer team, on volleyball, on cross country, on the swim team. We even have football players, varsity football players we've had where they play at the football game in the first half, take their pads off, and then put their drums on and play the halftime show with us. So there's always a way. The coaches are great about being flexible, and we work together and communicate to make sure the kids can do all the things that they want to do. Parent involvement. There's Mrs. Short. She's been asking us some questions, so now you get to be on the big screen, Angela. We always need parent involvement in any way that you can. I know everybody's work schedules are crazy. So there's always opportunities for you to help us out at a football game, at a rehearsal, at an event. If each family were to volunteer once or twice throughout the year, everything would be covered. Each event runs a couple hours only. If you're new and you're not really sure what you'd be doing, you will be trained and filled in. Nothing is super challenging. Just there to help with water. If there's a little first aid need, we'd help with that. And just being another adult on site is always very helpful, especially for me. There will be a parent meeting that we have at one of the August rehearsals towards the end of one of the rehearsals where parents come in. Kathy Young will lead that meeting and kind of go over the chaperone things. And she'll also send out a big sign-up genius that'll have all the events for the year. So that you can see what things you might want to sign up for and help out with. Who should you contact and for what? Well, there's me. There's Mrs. Young again, Kathy Young, and her son Max. Things that are related to school, music, absences, instruments come through me. Chaperone things go to Kathy. Band camp, rooming, filling out an iChat form through the district, that all goes through Kathy. And then when we're at camp, she's like the first level of communication while I'm teaching and going through camp stuff. If you have questions about your kid, you can get to her first, and if she needs to ask me, she'll do that. Would you like to be a band camp chaperone, parents? Well, there's 4 of them. There's Steve and Saroj and Mike and Co there last year at band camp, having a great time. If that's something you're interested in, we will have a chaperone meeting on Tuesday the 14th. Again, might be a virtual meeting. I know we have some parents that are already interested in coming back that were there last year, but we have some empty spots. And we would really love, especially some younger parents of the younger students, 9th and 10th graders, because we always have folks that graduate, and then we have some holes to fill. So if any of our current 8th or 9th grade parents would like to come with us to band camp, it's a relaxing time. I'm sure just ask anybody who's gone. And everybody does have a good time. So you can contact Kathy about that if you're interested.
Are the med people staying the same?
As far as, what I know right now is that Mrs. Rogers is going to be back with us for our med team, and then she's going to be coordinating that, whether she might be able to have some medical folks come along with her. If Saroj can come again, that would be awesome, but he's unsure at this time. But we will have a great medical team assembled to take care of our students at band camp.
Okay.
Good question. Getting close. Costs, we already went through a lot of this stuff on here. Just some cool pictures of the guard and the drum majors at camp there. Spirit wear is something that we have available at registration or whenever we are able to meet, which is just fun hoodies and pajama pants and hats and different things, shirts that kids can wear when they're just being casual, and parents can wear that to show off and be a proud parent of a marching band student. And then a chaperone shirt. We ask that when the parents chaperone at an event or volunteer, you wear a blue shirt so it's easy for the kids to identify you. Can cost anywhere from $5 to $27, depending if you want a new one, an old one. There's a range of things there. And then oftentimes we ask families to bring a dish to pass at a tailgate. This is just some of the family obligations that we talk about here. So that's at the bottom down there. And fundraising was a question here. There's Mrs. Weaver, Tanya Weaver. She has a graduating student. You can see Theo there. So she'll be passing off her fundraising stuff to somebody new. We don't know who that fundraising person will be just yet, but she's currently our person. There's a lot of stuff on our website, the Booster website, you can read about how to do the script gift cards, all the Kroger, Bush's, Gordon's, Amazon Smile. That's all on that Booster website. I won't bore you with it now. We talked about Command Performance. We'll have some specific fundraisers for Hawaii that Maria Maselli is working on. We have some great ideas for that. And usually we'd be doing our Hungry Howie's fundraiser right now. It's kind of on hold. Some of you were able to grab that information, but we will have that in some way so that we can raise some money for the kids' student accounts. And then some things go directly just to the band as a whole. All right. So there's lots of information on fundraising on that website. If you have more specific questions, I can answer a few now, or you can email me or Mrs. Weaver. Or if they're Hawaii-specific things, Maria Maselli can answer some of those things.
That was it. Somebody just had a question if we were still doing Hungry Howie's. So.
Yeah, the goal is to do Hungry Howie's if we're able to. It's just kind of on hold right now. You can take orders if you are able to, and then we just don't have a deadline because of the break right now.
Theme.
What?
Theme.
All right, more information will be sent out later this spring and during the summer. There's just a picture of the kids on the patriotic theme day. Each day at camp will have a way they can dress up. We like Hawaiian day or a sports day or whatever. So there's that. Just a fun picture to share with you. Questions at this point? Theme is next. The theme is kids held hostage at home by the government. Oh, Luca, thank you.
I don't even want to know some of the stuff on here.
All right, well, here we go, folks. It's 8:21. Time to reveal, 1 hour and 20 minutes in. There's a picture from our students last year at Marching Band Festival. Hopefully this is the moment you've all been waiting for. I know the students are excited. We've been working hard to put this together for you. So, without further ado, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Rochester's first and finest, the 2020 Rochester High School Falcon Marching Band. Band, take the field!
All right, so there it is. Your theme for our 2020 halftime show. I hope you guys enjoyed the reveal there. Carly helped put this together. The songs that you see listed there, there was just two that you could hear. There was a little snippet from the America the Beautiful arrangement, and then obviously Stars and Stripes Forever. They all have a patriotic theme, obviously, as you can see, the red, white, and blue. As you know, we're traveling to Hawaii, performing at Pearl Harbor. So that's a lot of the motivation with the theme. So we will be going patriotic this year. I know that some of you were asking about a dance, and I don't know how that fits into the show, but we will be able to dance maybe at a pregame feature tune once or twice. So don't worry, we'll be able to fit in some sort of dancing somewhere. Maybe this will be more like a lot of visuals with horns and body visuals this year than dancing to our patriotic music there. Do you have any questions, Carly, that have popped up that are important?
No, they've switched from saying theme to dance break.
Oh, dance break. Okay, cool. So there's that. There will be a YouTube link with just the reveal if you want to share with friends or whatever that I'll make public after we end this meeting here. At this point, we're going to go over to some Hawaii stuff, and I'm going to see if I can grab Tracy here. She can help answer some questions.
Is everyone else dismissed?
If she's able to.
You want to know if they're not going to Hawaii, can they go?
You know, if you are able to stick around, we'll do this quickly because we do have one little kind of wrap up thing. If you gotta go, you gotta go. This will be posted so you can check it out later. But this is also a little bit of a plea to see if folks that haven't signed up, you are still able to. So maybe this gives you some more information about if you were kind of on the fence and you're like, hey, I can still sign up. Maybe we can do that. But if you got to go, I suppose you could go. I'm going to see if I can get Tracy on the phone here.
Hello.
Hey, Tracy, how are you?
Good.
All right, well, we got you on here with our Hawaii trip information. Hopefully they can hear you because they can hear me, so I got you on speakerphone with me here. So Tracy is our educational tours rep. The details of the trip are all posted on our website. You can go through the itinerary. We went through it last fall. But this was, again, tonight a little bit of a push to say, hey, we can still take people. You can still sign up. Here are some of the highlights of some of the things we're doing. This is just kind of a brief recap, and maybe some of you had some questions about some things going forward with our trip. So, Tracy, do you want to do just a quick highlight thing about the trip?
Well, just a couple quick things I want to say. By December, we're all going to want to go somewhere, I can assure you that. So this is good timing. As far as the trip itself goes, it was customized by Mr. Urig just for your group. We're going there to reward the kids, but also do the performing experience at the USS Memorial, the memorial and all that as well. There'll be performance opportunity. There'll be an opportunity for the kids to bond and do some, just all kinds of great sightseeing and everything else with it. It is definitely an educational experience as well as, something they'll get a chance to go and kind of kick off the school year as well and get through this crazy season right now that we're having. This will be a great way to just, put that all behind us. We definitely can take more people. We have quite a few right now. We're over 100 and something right now, but we can keep taking people. We've got lots of extra airline seats held. So don't hesitate. If you're considering it, thinking about it, even if you want to think a little longer, we can still take you. So just keep that in mind.
Tracy, one of the questions that just popped up was how late is the latest day that you could sign up for at this point?
Yeah, I think that would probably depend on our airline deadline, which is about maybe 60 days out. We have to kind of finalize things with air. So probably by the fall, maybe October. And I can give you that date, a firm date, as we get a little further in. But even at that point, I've had people sign up at the very last minute, like, hey, I got this extra money, we want to go. And, usually we can squeeze people on even up to the last minute. So
okay.
Yeah.
There was a question about insurance coverage and whatnot. Obviously, that's
Yes.
important with the time that is right now. So could you go over that briefly?
Yeah, that's a great question. We do offer travel insured. International offers a plan. It is part of it's offered in your package. You can purchase it in addition. It is, I don't have that price right in front of me because I'm not near my computer at this point, but it is definitely something I highly recommend, and it works like this. If you have to cancel for a medical emergency for immediate family member, student, if you had purchased the insurance, you are covered up to 100% for medical emergencies that are accepted. After you make the claim, if it's a non-medical emergency, you can cancel up to 3 days prior. I believe you get 75% of your money back if the claim is accepted. From now until then. So I would highly recommend, after everything that's happened now especially, I would highly recommend the travel protection.
Yeah, and all that information is in the packet that we have on the website. All that insurance information is in there. And I'll send that out again tomorrow just so that you have it in your email, that so everybody can take a look at what it looks like. And if you have questions after tonight, please feel free to share them with me, and I can pass them along to Tracy or whoever at her company that would need to answer them. They've been awesome about coordinating this, and obviously they're very busy right now with everything that's going on for their current trip. So we can always get answers. Carly, did you see any other questions there that we didn't cover? Are there any other Hawaii-related questions that anybody has? If you do, you can post them in the chat there.
Do you got the last date to sign up, June 1st?
Yeah, she went over when the latest to sign up is. Yep. Getting a lot of nice comments, Tracy, on the live chat. You can go back and read later.
Great. I've enjoyed listening to the students in their chat, watching and reading all the chat.
I forget. I know we talked about the airline that was on there, Tracy. That we're using. Is it? Can you remind me what the airline is? Do you remember?
Yes. Right now we are looking at scheduled air for most likely Delta. I cannot remember for the life of me, but it's a Delta. Isn't it Delta flights?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it was Delta. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the flight schedule was great. We did have them split on 2 flights, I believe.
Yep.
And the times were really good. They're really close. As a matter of fact, if I remember now, too, the flights out of Hawaii are in the evening. So it's going to be, you'll have a whole nother extra day, that last day, to explore a little bit. You'll have something planned for you, but on your own a little bit, too, that last day. We'll keep it structured, but it'll be a nice extra bonus time. So my plan hopefully is to join you all. I don't know 100% at this point, but that's the plan, which would be really exciting.
Question about the rates being low for airline.
Somebody asked about the rates being low, like right now, you mean?
Yeah, so will they get a refund?
Is that a factor?
Yeah. If we are able to renegotiate better airfare for your group, we will certainly, which we've already thought of that, we'll certainly reach out again and try to renegotiate the air. That's one of the things on my list of things to do, for sure.
And do they have to go on the same plane as the band, or they can go on a separate plane?
So there was a question if like a parent wanted to go on a separate plane. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or do they have to go with the band?
That does get a little bit trickier. And we have talked about like what the company called like a land only package, where you would you'd participate in all the things that we would do while we were there. But if you flew out and in separately, that is something that they are able to take care of.
Yes.
Look at the bottom, because there's some questions about miles and the flight time so that people can book for their family.
Okay. I guess somebody was asking about if they could use like their Delta miles. I would guess if they were doing it with the travel company. I don't know. Do you know about that, Tracy? If
someone wanted to book through their own miles, they have to do it on their own.
Yeah.
Through Delta, and we would then offer you the land only or the no air package. So we would deduct the cost of the air from the trip, and then they could just meet up with everybody there and fly on their own. That would be up to them to get their own air done through Delta.
So if you wanted to use your miles, you'd have to do your own flights, and then I can get the flight times and dates to the families, because we haven't talked about that yet.
Yes.
Just because I didn't know how definite they were, but as soon as Tracy and I will talk and make sure they're settled on, and then you could look at booking your own flights and if that's at all possible. Yeah.
Hey, now that I think about it, I think they're American, Dave. I think they're American.
Okay.
I'm not sure for sure. I will email you. I think they're already updated in the itinerary, so I will email you an updated itinerary so you can email it out to everybody tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll get that information updated and get that out so you can look at flight times and airlines. Like Tracy said, it might be American. It's just slipping our mind right now. So.
Yeah, let me go look. I can probably go look. Well, you got everybody on there.
And then when you do, make sure you just let them know so that people can order.
Yep. Yeah. As soon as we know, like I said, Tracy will find out, and I'll email that out tomorrow when we send out updated Hawaii information and then the initial registration stuff there.
Okay. I can look really quick.
Carly, any other questions you see there?
Just about the flight info. There's been a couple people asking about section leaders and drum major announcement. If you just want to reiterate.
Sure. Yeah. So while Tracy's looking at that, there's some questions about section leader and drum major things. That would be something we announce in May at our social recognition night. And there'll be applications that, depending on what we get back, they may be paper applications. But if we need to, I can send that out through an email, and then you just kind of fill it out and send it back to me. For section leader, you just fill out the application and that's it. For the drum major spot, we would do actual interviews with myself and the other drum majors. And if we needed to, we could do a Zoom interview type thing if we needed to do that online. But that will come out in April with dates and deadlines and things like that once we get past like the spring break time. So those are good questions.
Question about bringing motion sickness medication on the trip. Do you have to have forms for that?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have like pretty standard, like going on field trip medical forms. But yeah, of course you could have motion sickness things with you and whatnot, but we would just probably take a form of the things that you would need to have with you. Yeah. We would figure out those details. Any luck, Tracy, on the airline stuff?
Yep, okay. I've got it right in front of me. I was waiting for you to finish. Yep, it is American.
Okay.
And the groups we have the pineapple group and the papaya group. So the pineapple group departs, it's a 6 a.m. depart out of Detroit through Dallas, and then the papaya group is a 5:30 a.m. depart and connect through Dallas as well. And you all arrive into Hawaii on the same flight. You all arrive together at 3:45 in the afternoon, and it's American. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's that's beautiful timing. On the return, let's see, we've got, everyone has breakfast. The pineapple group departs at, 11:55 p.m. and goes through Phoenix. And the papaya group, we have three groups, pineapple, papaya, and then here we go. Papaya leaves, okay, pineapple. Trying to look here. It's very confusing. I'm sorry. 6:25 p.m. Papaya group departs 6:25 p.m. from Hawaii for home. Pineapple group departs at 11:55 for home and through Phoenix. And then they're both home. Both groups get back late on the very next day, I think, would be whatever day that is on the return, the 8th, Tuesday the 8th. We get home late.
Okay.
Are you able to post the land-only price?
Yeah, so the price is still a little bit like in flux. We estimated I think it was just around $2,500, and Tracy put in $1,000 for the flights. So if we're guesstimating, like the land-only would be $1,000 less than that for all of it. So about $1,500 for the land-only stuff. But until we know like exactly how many people are going. That's when we get our exact price the last, I don't know, a couple of months, and then you just kind of pay that end difference there. So if you're interested in that land only, you'd want to let me know, and then we could let the travel company know, so that we can adjust that in the payment portal or however they need to do that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We would need to know who and everything else. That way we don't include you in the air manifest.
Right.
You would just be included in the hotel room manifest.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't think there are any other questions. Again, as this goes through the whole process, I know this is getting long. It's an hour and 40 minutes now. If you have any questions that you think of or that we didn't cover, please email me or leave a voicemail. Email is the easiest way, and if I don't know the answer, I can get in touch with Tracy and get those questions answered for you, however we would need to do that. So if there aren't any other questions for Tracy, I'll let her go. Thank you so much, Tracy, for joining us here on a phone call for our meeting.
Thanks for having me. Good luck with the season.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Okay,
Bye.
sure. Bye.
All right. And is the video still going? It looks like it's spinning on me. Carly?
I think you're still there. Yep.
Okay. We are just about done here. I think we just had one last thing to do here. Just to end this, if you want to sing along, you can. If you want to stand and put your arm around each other, or just pretend like you're putting your arm around each other so you can keep your social distancing, we're going to go ahead and have the alma mater play here. And we'll wrap up here. Here we go. All right, folks, that's all that I have for you. Obviously, that took a little longer than we thought. I guess that's usually how this ends up going. But I just wanted to be able to cover all that information for you. Again, everything's in the packet that you can check on later should you need be. I guess I can throw my face back on here for a second to see everybody. I don't have much else. We'll just do that. Then you can see me in full screen there.
Oh, they want to see the cats.
They want to see the cats. Yeah, they're not anywhere around, but Carly might try to grab one. Thank you guys for sitting through this and joining us. I hope you're excited about the show. I'm really excited about the show. The arrangements of the music are really, really good. I'm going to post those so that you guys can take a listen to those as well and see those. I ordered the parts today, so they'll be in the next couple of weeks. I had them shipped to my house so that I can actually get them. And then we'll get those out to you guys sooner rather than later if you're interested in starting to look at some of the parts and practicing and things like that. So 8th grade families, again, I know this is a ton of information in a short amount of time. You know, it's a long meeting. Please don't hesitate to ask questions of me through email or Kathy or Melissa, our booster president, and we can get answers to you however we need to. And I'm just super excited about the year to come for this marching band. Obviously, this is a tricky time right now, and everyone's just kind of itching to get to the next thing. So I hope this brought a little excitement to your evening here. And please get signed up for Reminds and the Facebook group so that I can communicate with you. We will send out that initial registration. And once you are able to do that, we'll have all your emails kind of in a database, and we can, oh, here comes Carly with some cats. There's Gracie. No. And
You have to hold one.
well, we need the big one. Oh. Here's Blue. He does not want to be here, though. Say hi, Blue.
Oh, Jasper's down
There's
here
Blue.
too.
Oh, he's looking right at you guys. Hi, Blue. This is cat number 1, and Gracie was the gray one, and we're going to put blue down. There you got some cats, Grace. I know you've been asking about the cats.
Yeah.
Carly's coming back with the other ones. So get that stuff filled out, the registration stuff, and then we'll be able to communicate with you guys through email there and Facebook. This is Jasper, the little white and brown one, and Gracie's our gray kitty. And that's Carly. So, again, I wish I could see all your faces. You got to see enough of mine and all this stuff here. Love you guys and miss you for sure. And looking forward to the upcoming season. And again, I hope this brought a little excitement to your evening tonight. Super excited about what we have to come. So, I'm going to check if there's any questions. Let's see. It doesn't look like there is. All right. Love you too, Caleb. Bye, guys. Have a great night. Be safe. Stay home. Go wash your hands. Bye-bye. Lisa Cruz, hi. And I have to say poggers once. Okay, Caleb, there you go.
What's a pogger?
I don't know what a pogger is. Bye, everybody. I'll just keep waving. Bye, Nick.
I wonder how long they'll stay here.
I don't know. We'll watch the people watching trickle away. 81 now. We started with about 160. Yeah, this video, Lisa, isn't going to go away. It's here on YouTube. The link should still apply. If it doesn't for some reason, I'll figure out a way to make sure that we can post it. But I think it just stays here.
Oh, Liz is never going to leave.
Liz is never going to leave.
No. I think you need to turn it off.
No, I don't want to turn it off. Oh, I forgot to announce that Liz will be one of our instructors at band camp. Oh. Well, the 70 of you that are still here get to know that Liz will be on our band camp staff this year. Liz Desmet, yes.
Who's Flame Kitty?
I don't know. Flame Kitty, who is that? I don't know. We're down to 64 now. They have all these goofy names.
So who are the other ones that talk a lot?
Mr. Michiano says no fire alarms going off. Well, that's okay because Brock and Logan and Theo, they're all graduating, Brian, so we shouldn't have any fire alarm problems. Unless Braden carries on the tradition for his brother.
You're just going to sit there? This is awkward.
All right, we'll wrap it up. Bye, everybody.